Hey YouTube, this is Maverick, and I just wanted to do an update on the 1967 Ford Galaxie 500 barn find, and it's at its new home now. For now, as I said, it's going up for auction February 3rd, 2017, on the 50th anniversary of its original purchase date. But here it is, and today I'm planning to do a little bit of a quick little hand wash on it. I'm not wanting to really polish it up real too crazy or anything, but I just want to see what I got, what I'm dealing with, and go from there. Now, a few things I have noticed since I got out of the shed in the daylight is there is more surface rust on the car than what I expected. You know, I did say this car would have an interesting patina, and it does. Like, for example, there is some surface, very, very light surface, well, what I would say light to moderate surface rust on the hood here. I do know there's surface rust on the bottom of the hood as well, and I'll get to that. On passenger fender, there's some, again, light to moderate surface rust. And there's more down here. A little bit on the bottom of the door. This is very light. This is that's some really light rust there. You know, and I knew there was some here on the back. You know, I kind of told you about some of this. Just a little bit heavier, but it's still surface rust. And you've got little spots of that here on the back. Here on the trunk lid, you've got some surface rust here and here up toward the front of the trunk lid. And of course on the bumper. My original plan was to polish the rust out of the bumper. Try to take the rust off and polish the bumpers up and all that. But I'm kind of having second thoughts right now. Possibly leaving the patina original, and you know, it wouldn't be hard for the next owner to polish it out if he or she wanted to. But I know some people, you know, patina, original patina is a big thing for some people, and so I'm kind of considering leaving it for now. I don't know. Today, like I said, I'm just going to do a light hand wash on it and figure out my next move from there. Now, I did say, I think I showed this in the when it was still in the barn. Here's my thumb for a kind of a help you judge the size of that. It's not very big, maybe $half size, maybe a little bit bigger. That's the only actual rust hole or body cancerous rust, if you want to call it that I found on the car. And again, you know, the back end was kind of sticking out of the it wasn't sticking out, but as I say, it was kind of more exposed to the elements, we'll say. So water, you know, rain or snow or whatnot could have blown in on it, and whereas the front was pretty well dry the entire time it was in the shed. For those 40 years or so. And here's some light surface rust on the driver's door. Oh, my dogs. I don't know what that was going on there. Obviously this wheel is not original. It's off of a 91 Ford Ranger. The two back wheels and tires are from a Ford Ranger. I threw it on there when we were loading the car up. We already had the front loaded, and the rear, of course, all 4 tires are flat, obviously. Like this one here, for example. They were that flat, as you can imagine, after sitting for 40 years in a barn. But anyway, we had the front loaded up, and of course, naturally, the electric winch wasn't working. So, you know, this whole time we're having to pull it on with a come along, and those rear, you know, we got the front on there, but it was just such a slow go. It was fighting us the whole way, you know, with those flat tires, all 4, all the way around. And so I put some, grabbed some tires off the Ford Ranger and put on there, and just to get it on the trailer. When it sells, it'll come with original wheels and whatnot. I'm trying to find a set of cheap tires to throw on there so it'll roll. Because like I said, here's the other front tire. As you can tell, it has seen far better days. But anyway, that's just the basics of it. You can still see where I kind of cleaned off a patch in the shed there. It has I noticed on the windshield, now the windshield's a little bit cleaner. A placard for a summer place membership. And I had to ask about that. The car's been in the family the entire time it's been on. I had to ask. It was a place down on the lake that my aunt owned a piece of property down there, and so that's what that was. And again, here's the inspection sticker. Expired in 1977. And I did notice when we were loading it up, again, the interior, I haven't cleaned the interior or anything yet. It's just pretty much as it was in the barn, but it's exposed to daylight now, at least. As I said, 25,000 miles, or call it 26. It's under 26, but if you want to round up. Now, let's see if I can get this thing to read that. No, I don't know. It's not showing up well on this camera. I'll have to do that a different way. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and read this to you. The date of the last inspection was February 21st, 1976. The odometer reading was 24,431. Inspected by, I can't really tell, MPS, maybe, I can't really. Station number was like 7473 maybe. I can't really make that out either. But so it had about 1,200 miles put on it between when it was inspected last and when it was parked. Again, it wasn't driven as much back then, or it wasn't driven as much at this time as it was when it was new. But I do think, upon asking some questions around the family and whatnot, I think my cousin may have been driving it before it was parked last. So those 1,200 miles may have been miles that he put on it. I'm not really sure, but because I believe he would have been turning 16 around that time, and I don't believe he had a car yet. I don't know. It's just things I've been told. But anyway, either way, it is what it is. It's under 26,000 original miles. You can see the 8-track player better in this one, and I've also been told that this was most likely dealer installed, excuse me. It was either dealer installed or it was installed immediately after purchase. I'm not really sure which way that was, but what I've been told is pretty much the whole time this car has been around, this 8-track player has been in it. People can't remember a time this car was around without this 8-track player. So anyway, again, I'm not gonna clean out the interior today. That'll be another day. But again, this is what you kind of see the interior better. I mean, again, it's just as it was. I haven't done anything to it. I found a few things in here that's kind of interesting. Again, I don't know what was in here originally when the car was parked, or what's been added, just thrown in here or whatever over the years. Like I said, people have had access to the car. Again, these doors shut like you'd expect for a 26,000 mile car. I mean, it's just solid. I did find a prescription pill bottle in the I'm not sure what for, but I found some kind of prescription pill bottle in the glove compartment from 1972, and for another one of my aunts, not the aunt that was the primary driver of this car, but I showed it to my mom, and she remembered driving this car to get my other aunt. I think she was sick with something. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but she was in visiting from out of town, and my mom drove this car to get her that prescription. So that was interesting. It actually had a story behind it that could be actually, somebody actually specifically remembered that story behind that bottle. Of course, that's not coming with the car. It's a little bit personal, I guess. So that won't be part of what comes with the car when I sell it. And if you look at the background here, just a quick thing. I think I said when I had the car up in the barn that I'd like to restore it, but I've got too many projects. Well, here's two of them. 72 Gran Torino Sport fastback 351 Cobra Jet, Cleveland Cobra Jet, what they called the Cobra Jet in 72. It's actually a 4-barrel 351 Cleveland, kind of souped up a little bit. That's a California car, actually. And then there's my 72 Lincoln Continental Mark IV. That needs a lot of work, but I really don't want to get rid of it. I've had that car a long time, and hopefully I'll be able to get it everything addressed with it. It's been on and off the road during that time. And, it seems like one thing after another. You know, when you start chasing down gremlins in these old cars, sometimes you run into that. And if you can see the burgundy Ranger in the background, that's where these rear wheels came off of. And then of course up here I've got the Jaguar that I'm selling, and the 57 Continental Mark II, and then there's the old 76 Massey Ferguson 275, which only has 1,200 hours on it, which is pretty low for that year. Well, I should say too, that 57 Mark II only has 23 or 24,000 miles on it, original. So obviously that's pretty low too. As I said, I've got a lot of projects. I've got another one in the garage up there. I got a 93 Mark 8. Again, I've had a long time. But let me see. Let me put this down and pop the hood and show you a couple things. I still got this thing zoomed in, don't I? Alright, here's the engine in the light of day. It's pretty wild. See, as I said, a lot of stuff, some things are missing. But, I mean, look at this old hose. And, I mean, obviously, anything rubber under here, you just, you know, obviously automatically assume it's dry rotted, because it is. But the belt's still on it. Belt's still down here. So the car was driven into the barn when it was parked. It wasn't. It was running. I know it's a classic line around kind of making fun, but ran when parked. But this one, I mean, as I said, it wasn't just a junker or something that was just pulled into the barn. It was in good condition. Body was in good condition. Interior, everything was in good condition. The engine was running, and it was just taken off the road and parked due to other vehicles being purchased and put on the highway and whatnot. Where is the deck? Let's see if I can get this back out. There it is. The engine oil. It still has engine oil in it. Hadn't leaked that. Obviously it's dirty. It smells dirty, it looks dirty, it's dirty. It's kind of hard to find the old dipstick because the top's been kind of broken off of it. But I haven't had a chance. You see kind of all this stuff in the way down here. I haven't had a chance to try to turn the crank by hand and see if the engine is locked up or not. The valve covers are rusty. The air cleaner cover and all that's rusty. The coil's rusty. You know, a lot on this engine is rusty, but you get down here to the block and it doesn't look as bad. Looking at this thing in the shed up there, I kind of assumed everything was probably locked up. But I'm not so sure about that now. I'm just, because too, it's had an air filter on it the whole time to keep. See, its carburetor doesn't look that bad. Doesn't, you know, out here everything's rusty. There's a rat nest. There's all kinds of mess, nuts and everything else. But in here, that air cleaner kind of kept stuff out away from the carburetor. So hopefully it hadn't got any kind of moisture or rat urine or anything like that into the, which I don't see a way it could have gotten rat urine or anything into the actual carburetor and into the engine itself. through that means. So that air cleaner very well may have saved the engine as far as needing a complete rebuild, being locked up versus rotating. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, I just want to make a quick video. I've kind of gone over a little bit, but kind of gone over what I was meaning to. You still see the windshield wiper fluid bag, still has Ford on it very faintly. Here's some of the underhood stickers. Tells you what to do when you stop for well, it tells you all the maintenance. What to do when you stop at a gas station, what to do once a month, etc., etc. Oh, and here's the surface rust I was talking about on the underside of the hood. Again, it's kind of widespread, but I don't think it's gotten really, again, excuse the language, but I don't think it's gotten too cancerous yet. You know, I don't want to offend anybody by saying that, but you know, most of you car guys know what I'm talking about when I say that. It's confined to surface rust is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I apologize for the background. There's leaves all over the yard. I've got to mulch them up, but it's that time of year, you know, living down. You got woods all around you. It's kind of hard to, almost a daily thing this time of year. But anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Again, this car is coming up for auction February 3rd, 2017. There's a lot of significance with that date, and I feel like that's the right time to sell her. And hopefully she goes to a good home. But again, thanks for watching, and I'll provide more updates as they come. Thank you. Hello YouTube. Here's a follow-up to, which I'll probably edit in with, my last video where I was going to start cleaning the car up a little bit. It's several days later, actually a couple of weeks later, I guess. I've been over it a couple times, hand washing and whatnot, and here's where we're at. Looks a lot better than it did. Does have obviously some blemishes in the paint, as you can expect with a car that's been sitting for 40 years. Of course, in getting up close and personal with the car, cleaning it up, you do begin to notice a few things, flaws and whatnot that hadn't ever really noticed before. And I know the trunk's been repainted when the car was, like I said, it has a new or repaired. I kind of lean toward it had a new trunk put on it when it was hitting the rear. Like I said, only damaged the trunk. So I knew the trunk was repainted. I think that other parts of the car were probably touched up at the same time the trunk was repainted. And again, this was in the 70s, or at least the late 60s, obviously. It couldn't be any earlier than that. The car's a 67, obviously. But so this would have been a paint job, or paint touch-up, whatever that was done in the 70s. No newer than 77, no older than 67, obviously. But anyway, just a few little things I've noticed. One interesting thing I did notice was, if you can see here, these two headlight bulbs, sealed beam headlight bulbs that are still in the car. Well, that one you can't really see. I think that one is too. I can't tell right now. Yeah, it is. It is. This top one, though you can see better, it says FOMOCO in it, Ford Motor Company. And the bottom one, you can't really see. At least I don't think you can. But in the middle of it, it says, has the Ford oval. It says Ford in it. Now, where can you find that these days? I mean, as I said in another video, you can still get these seal beam units. They were used on everything back in the day, either the round ones or the square ones, or different sizes, of course. But they were used in everything, and so they're still available. But not that say Ford Motor Company or Ford in them. Maybe some reproduction places have, specializing in authentic restoration parts and whatnot for Fords. They may have that, but I'd be fairly certain you can't just go to your Ford dealership and ask for seal beam headlights and get that anymore. But I could be wrong. I don't know. It's not something I've ever done, to be honest with you. But let's see. I did notice it has some holes in the rear bumper here, just below the tail light. Obviously I knew the bumper had rust on it. Didn't realize there were any holes in it. These are pretty small. Again, it is what it is, just either part of the patina or something you want to repair, whichever way you want to look at it. And I've cleaned up a lot of the rust on it without removing it. Again, leaving the patina. I've wanted to leave the patina as is, but also clean the car up to show its potential. And I did notice on this trim piece up front, right behind the front bumper, there's a little hole in this trim piece. Here's some of the issues in the paint that makes me think it may have been touched up, repainted. Certain parts of it are touched up. I don't know if you can see kind of two different colors of red there, but again, that would have been done back in the day. Definitely was not done anytime in the last 40 years. One thing I noticed that I never noticed on the 67 Galaxie before. I'm not sure how many of these I've seen up close in person. Actually, a 66 or 67 model, excuse me. I know I've seen a number of 66s and whatnot, but this 67 was its own body style. It was 1 year only body style. 68, they changed the front ends on them completely. No more stacked headlights or anything like that. And I've seen 68s up close in person, which I guess would have the same body line, but I never noticed it. What I'm getting to, though, is this body line right here. It goes into the door and goes down and fades into the door. And of course this one, which I had noticed before, that comes out the side and then turns into the flaring here on the fenders, which is really a good looking line. But I never noticed the one in the front until I got the polishing on this one, and you notice everything in a car. Seems like when you're up close and personal with it, washing on it. That's interesting. I had never noticed that line before in pictures or anything, and even going back after seeing it and looking at pictures of 67 Galaxies online, it's hard to, in pictures, it's hard to spot that body line a lot of times. But it's interesting, it kind of reminds me of the, part of it reminds me of what they did with the 69 Cougars. They had kind of a line that came from the fender into the door and kind of slope, you know, slope like that, whatnot. But I never noticed it on the 67 Galaxie. My opinion, looks better on the Galaxie than it did on the Cougar, but that's just my 2 cents. But anyway, the grill I haven't messed with yet. The bumpers I've kind of polished a little bit, getting some of the chrome. Again, trying to brighten up the good chrome, but leaving the rust and patina as it was. Because you only get this kind of patina once every 40 to 50 years. I say 40 to 50 because the car's been around 50 years and stored for 40. So 10 years of use and 40 years of storage, I guess, results in the patina. Which you see here. Obviously, every car is going to have a different patina than the next one. So I wanted to leave that as is, and you know, it'll be up to the next owner what exactly is done with the patina, whether it's left or restored to factory original or customized or whatnot. Again, it's going to get some more, have some more washing done on it before it's ready to be sold. But this is just starters on it. It gives you a good idea what we're dealing with here. Again, the paint came out pretty good, honestly. There were rust in more places, or there was rust, I mean, in more places than I thought. Of course, under all that dust and dirt from sitting, you can't really tell. I mean, you've got a few places on the hood, passenger fender, I noticed had some. But this is, you know, this is very light, and this is very not really in danger of rusting through anytime soon. You know, a few blemishes back here. You know, this stuff you just can't see under layers of dust, obviously. But anyway, it's interesting. Like I said in one of my older videos, I said it would probably have some interesting patina to it, and it definitely does. Front to back, it's unique, and you won't find one just like this. It's just got its own look to it. And here's now that this is all windshield's more cleaned up, you can see that inspection sticker. And again, I showed on my last video the mileage recorded on the back of it when the car was excuse me, last inspected. I think it was around 24,000 something when the car was last inspected in 1976, and now it's got under 26 on it right now. I did notice, which I had kind of seen before, there's a dent, some dents here in the rear. You kind of see where this is in respect to the car. The rear of the driver's side corner of the hood, and it looks like something fell on it inside inside the shed when it was being stored. That's the only thing you kind of figure on that. And I haven't cleaned the interior yet. You can see it still has some dog food bags and whatnot. I haven't got around the interior. I figure that'll be a lot easier than the body once I get in there. But anyway, that's what we're looking at right now. Cleaned up pretty well. I like the color. Again, candy apple red. Ford's candy apple red for 1967. I believe that's paint code T. If I'm remembering right off the top of my head, I could be wrong. I've got so many paint codes and engine codes and whatnot floating around my head to remember. But I believe it's paint code T. And so I just want to give you this update, and we'll update you again whenever there's anything new. And as always, thanks for watching.